Hi, welcome to Mystic Moons. Is anybody up? I'm up. There must be some people around this world that are buzzing at this time. And, I thought I had a question that I asked myself. And I thought, gee, that makes sense. This question. I mean, it doesn't make sense. Like I thought to myself, if you say you saw aliens or a flying UFO or unidentified aerial object, whatever. The point is, people would think you're crazy. Whoa. And you start talking about it. The more you talk about aliens, the more the person goes, I gotta get out of here. This person is crazy. And you grow up thinking that you can't talk about life other than human life because you'll be thought as a nut job, a nutter, a nutter. However, did you ever stop to think how much money, cash, is spent, dinero, is spent on aliens, trying to find out where the aliens are, where the other life forms are. And you still think, oh, she's weird, she's weird, she's weird, she's talking about aliens. I'm out of here. Wait. Do you know how much of your dollars go for NASA? What is Space Force? Is Space Force like some kind of like breakfast cereal? No. Space Force, how many people are on in Space Force? One, two. They even keep that quiet. Do you think they're just making like 30, 70K? No. And why is it so quiet? Space Force. You've heard of that, right? Space Force. They have the little logo. It looks like a souped up 60s Star Trek logo. Space Force. Why do they spend the money on Space Force? If it's and NASA and those telescopes. I mean, you try to get yourself a small telescope that you could fit in your own, studio, your own living room per se, and that's already quite a hefty sum. But these telescopes they have searching for alien life are humongous. It costs billions and billions and billions of dollars, cash, USD, whatever your cash of your country is. And every country has it. Every single country has these huge telescopes, planetariums. Any school of higher education, any college, university, complex, they have their own planetarium, their own telescope. You can walk in there, sit down. You can listen to lectures. You can go even in a special spot and look out their mighty, highly huge telescope. So I mean, it's not the he and you're crazy. No. I mean, you've heard of the word astrophysics? Of course you have. I mean, isn't that astrophysics? What does that mean? Does that mean aliens, UFOs? And why do we have this childish kind of cartoonish attitude about recognizing or dealing with the masses, the people, us, civilians, not connected? But you don't have to be connected. Do you really think that some alien is going to, who has some non-human being, let's say that, non-human being is going to really care if he's speaking to a colonel or a farmer? That's probably how wide the gap is between them and us. It's all the same. It's like looking at like pets. I mean, you have a colony of cats, dogs, whatever, wolves, same thing, dogs. And there's the alpha. I mean, the one who makes the most noise. However, No, that's a bad analogy. Because, I mean, they're not even, it's still, they're all, the hierarchy within the same species is of no importance. It's of no importance unless the being had affection, maybe or an appetite for said group of people, of creatures, beings. I mean, and to many, and anyone here on this planet that is not human, which, do you really think that humans are the only ones here? I mean, if you listen to some of the state propagandas of different governments, it just seems so at odds with basic human wants and needs. So anyway, let's get back thinking of how much money is spent on aliens. The discover and are you going to ever hear about their research? Nah, you never hear about their research. I mean, they're always searching, and they go, "This Space Force. It's NASA found infrared," and of course, infrared is only light, a flashlight bouncing off of a reflective object, more or less. And a lot of times, what if there are objects that absorb this without reflection? Oh, that's not scientific. Haha. How do you know? How does, how do the humans even gauge? Okay, so there have been crafts seen. Everybody, I mean, just about a huge amount of people have seen crafts, right? They have seen. Or there's somebody who has. Oh, hi, Ellen. How are you? My steady New York Ellen. Ask Ellen, what do you think? What do you think? Do you think that, why is this childishness when when you talk about aliens? Why do we have this childishness? And we're spending so much cash. I mean, if we even spend a quarter of the money that we spent looking for these aliens, this nut job category, I mean, we can all live grandly. All the citizens of each country could live quite well. And of course, many young people, kids, youth, they grow up. You never thought about it. Yeah. I mean, how many people want to grow up and be an astronaut? A cert. I mean, and then it's just space. You go outside and you see all the stars. I mean, many times, maybe how many times a year do you go outside and look at all the stars? The stars aren't just stars, 5 point, 6 point, flashing little things. They're planets. They're reflective planets. And each one, there's so many mysteries, and yet we're paying attention to BS. Do you really think that aliens do not exist? Maybe you should write the government and see how come they're spending so much money on something that doesn't exist, something that, and how many times are they going to say, "Oh, it hasn't been proven"? Yeah, but if you look at like ancient artifacts, you see in their script, you see spaceships, you see modernity, you see modern things engraved in stone, modern symbols, modern images. Everybody along with being the president and a star. Well, I understand. Well, yeah. I mean, people don't think about things because you're programmed just to think about, ooh, crazy, 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 crazy thought. That's a crazy thought. We don't go there. Smart, responsible people don't think about aliens and UFOs, even though every frigging week we spend so much money on the business of UFOs, on the business of aliens. I mean, they say searching for aliens. searching. Are they ever going to tell you we found what we're looking for? If somebody's looking for aliens for, let's say, 100 years, okay, so let's say scientists have been looking for scientists in quotations have been looking for aliens. Let's say since the 30s. Let's just say that's almost 100 years. You can't find something in 100 years. That's really pathetic. That is so pathetic. And why are you throwing more money if you can't find something in an X amount of time, let alone 100 year, a century of looking, close to a century? Then how come you keep on throwing more money and it gets respect? I mean, if you can't find something within a certain amount of time, you lose, right? I mean, you lose. We try looking for how to make a good apple, for instance, because they're a plant scientist. If you can't get it in 100 years, if you can't find it in 20 years, 5 years, you're out the door. It doesn't exist. However, they keep on pushing money to alien studies. Alien studies. They don't call it alien studies. Outer space searches. No, they call it astrophysics. And physics could be anything, actually. Physics is everything. That's another thing. And I just want to ask the question, why are they keeping us so stupid? So let's ask, why? Why are populations of governments kept so stupid? Given stupid rhetoric, 25 words to say about this subject. Aliens do not exist. Humans are the only ones, but yet we're spending. What? Follow the breadcrumbs, follow the dollars. How? No matter what they say, it doesn't exist. It's BS. You're cuckoo. You're a nut job. How do they keep on throwing trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars and telling you who are paying for it, keep out, keep out, keep out. They're telling you only authorized personnel can come in here. It's a need to know basis. And there's different tiers of knowledge. What kids want to be along with becoming an astronaut. An astronaut is someone who is adventurous, the discovery, the excitement. As well, sometimes you wonder, is an astronaut an actor? An astronaut cannot reveal all that astronauts see because there's that air of secrecy. They're not going to dissipate and say, oh, oh, oh. We've known about other life forms, other beings, non-humans. Can they even use that word, non-humans? Let's see now. Why? If aliens do not exist, have not been known to humans, and people who say are regarded as nut jobs, why are they spending so much money on the subject? Why spend trillions of dollars on NASA, Space Force, and getting medals from it too? Why is Elon Musk putting all the satellites in our night sky? Why? Oh, to keep us so we can get internet. That's what you're being told. Something's going on. And we're just sitting here playing video games, smoking pot, drinking booze, watching baseball, watching Netflix, just speaking generally, of course. And we're supposed to be eating pizza and be content and yackle, yackle, yackle. That's it. That's all supposed to be our science. Leave the heavy load to someone else. Just give me your money. I mean, you work a pizza job or a Dunkin' Donuts job. You make like $800 a week. Well, Space Force wants for their thing. They need $150 of that, and they get it. They get $150 out of your 800 a week, so they can go around and what? They can go around and jeer you for thinking that there are aliens. You saw something that you shouldn't have seen, and if you do see something that you should have that you should not have seen, oh, you're shunned by your anyone you speak to. Oh, he's crazy. All right, now here we have here the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups. Now, there's an opportunity. Is there an opportunity in keeping everyone quiet and childlike about such an important and expensive project or portion of life? And we have there's nothing to see here. The Six of Cups. There's everything and nothing to be seen. Just walk on by. Walk on by. Just walk on by and pretend that you do not see anything. Huh? But they're preparing a message. We have the Knight of Cups. It's funny how we have here the Ace of Cups. We have here the Knight of Cups. And we have here the busy scene of doing things and no explanation. Business as usual. So aliens. So we're asking, are we going to get, does it seem like from these three cards, are we going to get an announcement why Space Forces exist? Why NASA is spending all this money, our money, towards aliens, that we are made fools, buffoons for even saying, do aliens exist? Oh, no, 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 no. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's like, how come we're spending so much money on BS? On a joke. On a joke. Let's see now. Let's look upon the Ace of Cups. Because that is the alien existence. I would say the alien existence. The non-human existence. Let's see. All right. Now, and we have the Ace of Wands. There must be more than one type of non-humans. Yes, there are quite a community of non-humans. And we have the Fool. It can be portrayed in a variety of ways. So, we're going to leave that there for a moment. We have an Ace of Cups and an Ace of Wands. In terms of how long is this joke? This club. I know and you don't need to know. It gives me power. This could be like the Six of Cups. Could aliens be walking in between us? Do they have space? A portion of Space Force? It's like the cops. They come up and they grab them. If they get out of line. I mean, the way the cops come up to you and say you should be burning your trash. You didn't cross the street correctly, or I'm watching just to make sure everything's fine. That kind of cops. It was just in between our society. I think we're. I mean, do you even know if you even see an alien? Of course, I'm sure there's. It doesn't. An alien, non-human, doesn't always have to be humanoid. We know that. And How can they, when people are living in cardboard boxes, how can they justify the Knight of Wands? Hmm. And the Knight of Pentacles. It really feels like we're going to get a message. Look at these knights. The Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups over here. The Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Wands. I say, could this even be connected with the eclipse in a way? Hmm. Hmm. This is very interesting. We're definitely going to get a sign of why all this money was spent. Not because we're looking for gold. We're looking for resources. No. Uh-uh. We want to, what is the tagline now? We're looking for resources, so an opposite country like China versus US versus Russia. We're kind of like, we don't want the Russians to get all that minerals up there, one of those asteroids or those planets. We want the rights. Uh-huh. I think we both know. We do know that a lot of what is happening, advanced technologies, advanced communications are not being given. The knowledge is not being passed to us. Every day we get more and more in the toilet. When we try to look up to the stars, we try to think about things in a certain manner, but yet every outlet that speaks words, that exudes words, is saying, don't pay attention. No, look at this. Flush that toilet. Yeah, it goes round and round. Keep your mind right there in the toilet bowl. Don't look up. Don't look up and don't look sideways. Just look where I tell you to look. And consequently, that has had a bad effect. There's many people that go through their whole life in that damn toilet bowl. And they never think that there is life beyond the flush, up, around and round and round and round and round. But there is. There is. Free yourself from the programming and realize if you say, so you hear somebody else say, I saw something strange, it's a UFO. Don't think that person is crazy. Think about how much of your how much of your money goes to Space Force, NASA, SETI. There's tons of organizations geared for exploration in space of either life forms, other beings, as well as what's out there. We know there's something out there. We know. Your guts tell you that you need somebody with uh, a degree to tell you there are non-human intelligence dingbats. No, you don't need that. Your guts tell you. Your cells that have been alive and renewing itself from millenniums. No, no. You don't. Free yourself. Give yourself a favor. Because when your ignorance will not save you, will not save me, will not save you. No, we can only collectively. And why are we constantly? We have television, we have radio. Why are we always having our ether sucked into something? Our ether being the space, the unseen space, the space of connection. Like right now, I am talking into the ether. I am talking. I don't need to have a comment per se. I'm talking to the collective. I'm just putting my energy out there, thinking, this thought that I have, why is this alien such a big joke? Why is the subject of non-humans a big joke? Hee hee. Why? Why? And I think it's because It's so darn sensitive. It's so sensitive and it's so real and it's awesome. It's just awesome. I mean, it's overwhelming. I think the realities of that subject, human and non human, and maybe a mix, are incredibly, incredibly far reaching. And to many people who do not even think about putting one, aliens, UFOs, plus two, one plus one, which is the money spent on NASA, Space Force, SETI, and tons of other organizations, even the study of astrophysics. Uh, what can astrophysics, even that's astrophysics in itself is often trashed as a college major, I would say. I mean, are you going to graduate after 4 years or 6 years, and you're going to say like, I got a job, an entry job in astrophysics? It doesn't happen that way. It doesn't happen that way. Usually, usually you get into like some other aspect of probably programming, doing code. I mean, you have to go on to you have to get even more specialized. And then the governments will hire you after you become X amount of years of specialization. And then you have to send, and you have to sign non disclosures. I can't talk about this, I can't talk about that. Or, even besides, every occupation has a litany of that stuff when you first start out. Don't talk about this, don't talk about that. And non human intelligence is no exception. No exception. So, what can this message be? Well, we know what it. Okay, no, we don't know. We don't know because I mean, our guts know. Our guts know. Our innards. We know. But there's so much. No, there's so much to find, to hear, to talk. I mean, how can you have people with the way society is right now? You have to be careful of your P's and Q's. There's language. I mean, the language is getting more and more like C++. It's basic. It's so basic. There are no. You feel like you're talking Tarzan, Jane, Jane like Tarzan, Cheetah like Jane. I mean, it almost feels like that. It's so limited. It has no color. It has no poetry. There's no poetry with English, hardly. And the poets, what is a poet? I mean, they sanitize too many things. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is, how can a non-human, do we have to first of all get this language down to such a guttural, basic bacon and eggs routine, category, word usage, so that non-humans can understand us? Is that it? Is that it? Is that the ultimate? Let's look at this message. All right, let's see if we can get. This is very intriguing. We have 4 nights, and we have under this veneer of mingling, walking around in the crowds. We have 2 messages: the Knight of Wands, which I would take as a species, a race of beings, and we have the King of Pentacles. I would say, and then we also have the Ace over here, the Ace of Wands, and we have the Ace of Cups. And if we were to take fire heating the water, it's boiling. It's boiling. All right. Let's go into this Knight of Wands. The High Priestess. So we see that we have the High Priestess in this case would be our receptivity to Or, hmm, or it could be a government agency that is going to take the initiative. Could be connected to the eclipse. Now, you know when the eclipse happens, there's certain type of molecular changes that happen in the air, in the atmosphere. Not just your visual, but there's also, it's like if you put your hand over on the electric oven and you turn it on and it's on. When you go over the burner, you feel heat. Now, you're not frying your hand, but you've exchanged the thermal reaction. Now, this thermal reaction tells your brain something. It says, I'm not going to put my hand on the burner because it's hot. Same thing, you get that idea? It's the same thing that happens when the moon goes over the sun. You just know something. You just know something. It could be it could be a discovery of those who, you don't need the announcer going, and now the sun is being covered by the moon. Watch it now, folks. Do not look in. Da, 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 da. You don't need that. Why don't you choose serenity? Why don't you think about it? Why don't you think about, put your hand on your oven when you have it on your burner. You know, you're not going to be a bloody fool and go and cook your hand. No, you're going to, okay, your brain will say, that's hot. It's hot. And if I linger too long over it, I'll have more discovery. All right, so let's see about this Knight of Cups. We're going to hear something about non-humans very soon. Life, non-human life. And non-human life, we don't have to travel millions and millions of miles because they're here. I mean, we have vehicles. We have different vehicles. We do not have the ones that look like, steel birds. The steel bird fly over a mountain, maybe my ancestry would have said. However, we know that there are round objects. There are circular objects. There are elongated objects. There are ones as big as football fields. There are ones as small, glowing orbs. There are ones that you just walk through. There are gates. There are many, many things that you've been told, oh, you're so stupid. No, no, you can't handle this. You can't, this is not for you to know. That's one thing in societies that is very conflicting, is the fact that the need to know. Keeping in ignorance is a blessing, so it's been said. Now here we have the King of Cups, and we have Temperance. Look at all this, all these high-end cards. We have images. We have under the Knight of Cups, we have the King of Cups. That must be the person who has most information. And then we have Temperance. That's another person. The Temperance card. Dole out quietly. Be careful how you say these things. Yes, we do not want to flip. Even though, oh, and also too, CERN would also be a part of the cash flow of like the that is the seesaw of like, I see aliens, I see strange, I see UFOs. And then you have CERN, which is 17 miles long, 300 feet deep, and it is there to find the God particle, to open up, to find out what black matter, dark matter is. Dark matter. Dark matter is something our eyes itself cannot see, but we sense, our cells know who's in there. Who is in there? Is this some kind of like manipulation from a non-human to open the doorway? We don't know. And yet, what is all the drama we're having? The eclipse. the day of the eclipse, CERN, after 2 years of hiatus, 2 years of like snore, 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 it's going to be open. It's going to be open and functioning. And at the same time, another agency, space agency, NASA, is going to be firing three rockets into the eclipse. I remember again that whole analogy of like the hot burner. You can feel the heat. Are you going to fry your hand? What is in that discharge, that heat, that NASA, whom is is to study aliens, okay? It's to study aliens. What what is NASA seeking? And what is it aiding? And then how do you think those rockets get up there? How? Do you think they fill them with electricity? Whee! Do you think they fill them with gasoline? Whee! No, no. How do you think the rocket, with all of its equipment and power, is able to break free of the gravity, go up, and do what it's programmed to do? Because it's nuclear. It's nuclear fuel, nukes. So they're nuking. Did you ever think that maybe somebody, someone, some entity, some being, isn't very isn't very happy being nuked constantly, having their atmosphere polluted with the different chemicals, the different strontium, whatever they call it. They call it, I'm sure another being would call it many different other things. But we know that there are toxic materials to get those metal objects, those metal bombs, right? Metal bombs up in the air. And another thing too, when you have like bombs, I mean, just how are things able to project, even in these wars going on in Gaza, in Ukraine? How do you think they're being? What's the force behind it? A little trigger? No. Go read about it. Read about how things move. And at the same time, when you go to like read about how rockets are launched, are we going to get medals for that? Somebody could be pretty damn pissed off about constantly throwing things up in the air. I mean, think of it. If you're outside and your neighbor is constantly firecrackers, balloons, stink bombs, constantly up in the air, and you're sitting out there trying to chill, that would be irritating. That would be irritating, as well as like throwing their garbage everywhere. I mean, even the fact that if you had a neighbor and the garbage wasn't on your property, but every time you stepped out the door, it looked like a junkyard, and you're like, I paid all this, I did all this to go live in a junkyard. No, you'd be pissed. You'd be pissed. You're not gonna go, oh wow, I'm so happy to meet you. How, like that mythological story of how United States, America, the Americas were discovered. Hogwash, hogwash. No one is that foolish, that welcoming. Even basic four-legged creatures, they have the territory. And then you come along and go, give me your food, give me your land. Hi, I'm hungry. Uh-huh. Or, I discovered you, now you're my slaves. Or, you guys look good to eat. That could happen. Non-humans going, before there used to be a lot of people that were missing, alien abduction. Not even spoken. Now we just call them missing, 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 and case closed. Missing, missing. All right, now let's see. Here we know that the Knight of Clubs, not clubs, hearts. I must be thinking about something else. No, be focused. The Knight of Cups and the King of Cups, and we have Temperance. I think that we're going to get some very vital information that's going to tell us that we are not alone. And soon, you're just trying to find the right words to use because they want why I can't even no don't let me theorize without taking a read. Like, what is this message? How, I mean, we know what okay, how are they going to deliver this message? Temperance, sugarcoat it. They're going to sugarcoat this, and it's going to be in not the full message, some some parts, the testing ground. Yes, I think there are really several more than two non-human forms at work in this earth. More than two. And we've been here a long time. A long time. And this message. I'm going to do another one. Look, we have the world card. This message is not for one particular country. This message is for the world. And I'm not talking about the World Economic Forum. No. I'm not talking beyond. I mean, they're like, they have no power. Not really. Or they're just, even as mouthpieces, they don't do it right. Yes. Yeah. Are they going to say we come in peace? I don't think so. We come in peace. Let's see. Let's see. How are they? Okay, so we're getting the message. But are they going to say we come in peace? Let's get a little bit more clarity. Yes, we're going to get a message. And we're going to see why. We're going to see how our money has been spent. And I think soon will come the day that we're not going to think somebody's a nut job when they start speaking about aliens. In fact, that's probably all they're going to talk about. They're going to forget all these little other things. Like, should I be talking to you? Or you did. But wait, is it going to come? Is this going to come? Like right now, we can feel the earth is like gearing up for war. Right? War. I mean, it's like it's war here, war there. Maybe about 4 or 5 spots on the globe for war. It's heating up. Now, how? And this could be on purpose. Like, who's making this war? I mean, the purpose of war is to thin out the population. We all know that. Thin out the population. Okay? Now, is this directive coming from one of these alien species? These alien. Is this the message? And first of all, we know it's not, they're not going to, the announcement of other non-human beings is not going to be, we have cake and ice cream, we have party. No, it's not going to be. It's not a party. And we put it is not, it's not a party. We're going to be given an ultimatum. Of what? I'm not sure. I don't know. I do not know. But we're going to be given a choice. A choice. When? I don't know. That's another, when are we going to give this choice? But the fact that they've been spending all this money, NASA, Space Force, all these SETI, all these incredible, expensive telescopes, huge, mammoth structures, all over the world, missiles, satellites, CERN. And we all know CERN looking for black holes, looking for doorways. And we've also speculated, I don't think it's going to make us very edgy. Because once the door opens a crack, you let one in, you let them all in. The door is being pushed. You crack your door open. It could be opened by the wind currents. It could be opened by someone solid, someone who has the power to open the door. Open the door. So I would see we better grow up fast. We better grow up fast because it's we can't afford to be children. Like a child, we don't have that time. We don't have that time. We do not have the time to be children. We must think, why are they taking all our money, spending all this money on a fairy tale? No, no, it's not. It's not a fairy tale. It's not a fairy tale. And we had better look to the heavens, look also in underground, 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 underwater. They're everywhere. Perhaps. And do you think they only have five senses? No. We have five senses. Let's not pollute our senses anymore. Let's just say to the radios, the TV shows, the all the things that make us the music, all the things that keep on repeating the whole same drone, 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 drone. Well, let's intelligently operate. I said we're not just because we can't fly on our own, because we even feel that we can't think on our own. We feel lacking. No, we're not lacking. We're underdeveloped. Yes, we're underdeveloped. Even uh, many of these secret societies have always, their mantra was, we're only using a 10% person in the society using 10% of their potential. He's a genius. That's pretty pathetic. That's pretty pathetic. However, it's telling. What is it telling? Instead of feeling pathetic, it's telling us that we better grow up. Grow up. End this child's play. And first of all, these other people, these other people who insist upon making us childlike, stupid. And let's try not for younger and not younger ages. Younger and younger ages. We must resist. We must resist because the tragedy that we would be open to, we would be powerless, even though, and it would be worldwide. Remember, they're not coming, even when Columbus discovered America, or so they said. I mean, what did happen to the indigenous people there? Life, liberty, good times, parties? No. Bloodshed, war, abandonment, loss of life, dominance, subjectiveness, endless. In fact, it was such a horror. We don't even talk about it. We can't even talk about the realms of the experience. It's not even shared. It's not even shared. All right, let's take. I think that we can say that we are going to get a message soon of why they've been spending all our money, and it's going to concern non-human life. And don't believe it if they say somebody chickens out at the last minute and says there's no such thing as non-human life. This is it. Ha 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 ha. Means the information is so bad that they got to keep it. Somebody else is going to say the information. Now remember, all the phrases, you know what you can do? Start liberating yourself from programming. Programmable language. Make the non-human entities that speak to you, or you hear them talk, or they want you to talk. Let them know that there are many ways of saying many things. There's just 7 or 8 things that we say and do. No. All right. Let's say, all right, now, let's see, let's examine this heartache a little bit. Let's examine. 10 of Cups. And the 3 of Cups. 3 of Pentacles. Well, well, it could be viewed as really good news. However, there is a side to it. There's a side to it. Because the heartbreak, why do we have the heartbreak? Why do we have the heartbreak? Why do we have the heartbreak? Let's throw another card. Okay, this one. And we have the 5 of Swords. So initially they will be very excited. Initially. But that soon excitement, when we see the power and the magnitude and the terms of finding out the terms, trade-off. You get the knowledge, you get the facts. Your actions are changed. That would be, yes, I would say that we are going to be told about non-humans. And initially we're going to be overjoyed for some reason. Maybe we would be only showed or be informed of the aliens, of one type of alien. One type. And then when we see the magnitude, the difference, we'll see that we are lacking and that we are at the mercy, perhaps. All right. So I think that we can walk away from here. We can walk away from this read of why. I mean, how come people that say I've seen aliens or UFOs? How can we can walk away and think and stop thinking that they're nut jobs? And I just think about the money that's spent on the very thing that these people said they saw. NASA, Space Force. And Space Force is, you're not even talking about like the secretaries, the security guards, the different, the teamwork, the CTO, the COE. I mean, you have to, there's many parts of this element. Many parts. And the satellites, the observatories, the research. Is it just so they can just poke fun? Mm-mm. All right. So I'd say we're going to learn something soon. We're going to learn something. And NASA and other governments are in a hurry to tell us where my money's been going. They're in a hurry. Okay, so if you like this reading, you have anything you wish to contribute, because I mean, we have to talk among ourselves, because nobody's going to come up here. You're going to trust somebody else when this has been going on for hundreds of years. Actively, this, like, even CERN, you've been hearing about it, but CERN has been around for like, 50, 60 years, 39, since 1939, I think. Quite a while. That's like 80, 90 years, something like that. It's been around, and it's been kept quiet. And another thing too, when you think about CERN, you think about their inaugurations or celebrations. I mean, they go around with, appropriating uh, different languages from um, the Middle East. They summons, like, they're into demonology. They're into, like, all this woo woo woo. I mean, it's like Godzilla in the 40s, plus on steroids. And why? That thing turns them on. Why? Why? We need some explanations. And as people, we deserve some answers. And we have to stop being foolish and stop going he, because the he is our trap, is our sneak pit. Got it? Okay, now if you like this, give me a thumbs up. And if you want to leave a comment, I appreciate it. If you'd like to contribute to our cause, our channel, because we need your support. Mystic Moons does, really. Please donate to buy me a coffee. And the details are in the description box. And let's explore this, because we're going to get revelation soon. Soon. And I'm going to go take a break. And then we're going to talk about the solar eclipse. That's fishy too. That's fishy. Very fishy. All right? Because it's connected. I feel that the money we've been spending on aliens, the taboo that's put in thinking and speaking that you had aliens. Oh, that's far out. That's like, you know, only out there crazy people talk about aliens. When you start talking about aliens, everybody goes, I got to get out of here. No. But at the same time, remember that $200, $5,000 you make a week, how much does that go to Space Force? Hmm? How much? What do they get, 2 pennies? No, 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 no. They get lots of your dollars. Lots of your dollars. You're supporting them. And they're all happy because you keep on rolling that money into them, and they keep on, like, rolling you over, telling you, don't talk about that. That's crazy. That's crazy. No, no, no. Having knowledge is not crazy. Having knowledge is having a plan. Having a plan is having discussion, right? Let us think about it. All right, so I'm going to shove off and come back later.